Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over how Amazon calculates your product pricing in Vendor Central. For those of you who are new here, my name is Benjamin Bolshinsky. I used to work at Amazon in the vendor management team for almost 3 years, and now I run a company called Vendor Launch where we work exclusively with Amazon vendors to increase their purchase orders. So without further ado, this is one of the most common questions we get. How does Amazon calculate site pricing and what you can actually do to impact it, to influence it? So there's a number of different drivers that can be impacting your product pricing at any given moment. The first one, without a doubt, and the most important one, is a competitor match. So basically, the logic here is Amazon wants to be the most competitive priced retailer in the market, right? They don't want to undercut any competitor, but they want to match the cheapest competitor in the market and therefore offer the most competitive pricing across all of their products. Now, this is usually the priority. This overrides any other pricing driver in their system. The thing is, it also depends on the size of and the importance of the competitor. So, bigger, more strategic competitors like, Tesco, Walmart, Woolworths, Coles, the big guys, Amazon will match them, will match their site price, and it's, the most important driver in their system. Now, if you're looking at smaller tiered competitors which they deem not as important, then that's obviously not as a important driver. In those cases, they might not match the site price. They might add like shipping as well, in terms of what the competitor is running. But usually, you look at your biggest tiered competitors, your Walmarts, your Coles, Amazon will match their site price, and it's the most important driver that usually is impacting the site price. Now, if a product does not have competitors, so it's not sold at competitors, for example, if it's a new product or if it's just not ranged in competitor channels, then you might be asking, how does Amazon come up with the pricing in that scenario? Now, usually here, the driver is the manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, also called RRP. So this is what you would put in Vendor Central as the list price with tax. That's what it's called. And that's what is often driving the price that Amazon will sell at. This is obviously, impacted by your the values that you put. So it's a bit more control here. Now, sometimes you might put in a MSRP or RRP into the system, but the site price might still be higher or it might be different. And so in this scenario, we go to pricing driver number 3. So if the RRP or the MSRP is unprofitable for Amazon, if their system calculates as too low margin, then Amazon's algorithm may come up with a different price. So what they do is their pricing algorithm will take the cost price that you've put in. It will then apply a number of markups depending on shipping costs and how much margin they want to make, and then they will come up with a different price, and that's what may sometimes appear on the product page, right? Especially if it's higher than that RRP that you put, the list price with tax that you put, it might be higher than that, so that they make more margin. Now, this is all great, but there are other pricing drivers as well. So for example, promotional pricing. So if you're running a promotion, you've provided funding to Amazon, so then they can run a promotion and reduce the site price of a product based on the funding that you've provided. So this can be done by your vendor manager or also through Vendor Central. You can set up promotions yourself. So that might also be impacting the site price. Then we've got manual pricing overrides. These are usually done by your vendor manager. Typically, these aren't very common, just because Amazon prefers to automate literally everything, and this is a manual intervention. So yeah, very uncommon, but it can be a driver. And then we've got overstock or clearance pricing. So if a product is deemed unhealthy, so if Amazon is sitting on too much inventory compared to what their run rate is, compared to what they sell on a monthly, weekly basis, then their system may discount the product at a loss, just because it calculates that it's more profitable for them to sell it at a loss compared to just sitting on so much inventory and incurring warehousing costs. So sometimes you might see that a product is being kind of discounted even though you haven't set up a promotion, and so that's most commonly what's kind of happening there. But again, the thing here is like competitive price matches. So if I go back to number one, competitive matches is really the priority. So for example, even if you've set up a promotion, but Amazon detects that their biggest competitor are running that product at a lower price point, they will still match the competitor. So like 99% of the time, competitive price matches are what drives the site price. It's the most important factor. And this is why, again, it's really important to look at your distribution across your retailers generally and to just have control over that. Launching, for example, Amazon exclusive products is a way which you have more control over Amazon's pricing, because those products are not sold at other retailers. So this, is a really important driver, and it's something that, it's worth kind of looking at in terms of your overall distribution strategy across other retailers, not just Amazon. But hopefully that helps. If you have any questions or if you notice odd pricing, please leave a comment in the under the video below. And otherwise, hope you have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.